Sorry. Took me like an hour to adjust this green screen back here. I wish I could pass the photo on back. There probably is a way you can do it, but I don't know how. I'm just looking real quick to see if maybe there's something I don't know. But you don't have access to this feature. I don't have access to this feature. I don't have access to anything, do I? Collapse menu. Sorry, I know I should be playing around with this at some other time, especially if I said I'm going to come out here and make a video about positives about the pandemic. Because there were some positives. Now, don't get me wrong. I, of all people, know how horrible. Hang on. I know that this was horrific for some people. I know it. A lot of us lost family members. Not everybody, but a lot of us lost family members, friends. But most of us lost somebody to COVID. Even the people that kept telling me, when I kept telling them about people I knew that died from it, not just family members, just people I knew or people who knew people who died from it. I had a lot of people that kept saying, I don't know anybody who died from it. Who, almost like this isn't real. And then eventually, even if it was after a year and a half, they knew somebody who got it and died from it. So anyways, today I went to an event and they had some people performing there. And I felt like I knew the people because of Zoom. One thing the pandemic did was, even though it separated us physically, it connected us to people who we never would have connected with in life. People all over the world, people in different countries. And so there were some positives to this. Once it, when I say dies down, what I mean is like once they can get it under control, kind of like the flu, and we can have decent treatments, better treatments, I should say. Once enough people eventually, when we reach a herd immunity or something, when people get it, that's what I mean. Right now, we're still living in it. A lot of people still do wear their mask. A lot of people don't wear masks. But when something else comes along, I should say, let me put it that way, because something else will come along. When something else comes along, and people aren't so engrossed and engaged in the conversation of COVID, and we've healed somewhat through the trauma, people will begin to see that there were some positives. When they start to realize that they have friends in their life and people in their life that they never would have met if it wasn't for COVID. And I'm sure that's happening to lots of people, not just me. At the event I went to, I also ran into other people that I had met on Zoom. It was really weird because I felt such a connection. Never met these people in person, but you connect on Zoom with people because you're at home, you're comfortable, they're in your home. So there were some things that were, I think, positive. People learning how to live, because I think a lot of people have learned how to live because of COVID. When things are taken from you, that's when you appreciate what you have. And because life stopped for all of us, and even if it didn't stop, it slowed down or it changed, because for some people they got busier, like the delivery people and stuff, but life still changed. Things changed. So, you know, positive. There were new jobs that came out of it for people. I'm not going to talk about the positives of all the people that got extremely richer, the rich that got richer. That's not necessarily a positive. When maybe for them it is, but for those that are suffering or lost their homes or they're on the streets or can't feed their families, the thought of the rich getting richer because of a pandemic and that they could produce things or have us buy all kind of stuff we didn't need or jack prices up. Anyways, I don't want to go into all that because then I'll start with not understanding why God just permits certain things, but it's up to him. It's his will. And there's no sense in ever questioning why, because eventually we begin to see it. Like a lot of people that didn't understand when the pandemic hit. I'm starting to see things. I'm really starting to see things today, and how I realize that I have so many new people in my life because of the pandemic. Those people wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for the pandemic. And the last thing that I wanted to discuss as a positive is God is still in control. And people still want to act up and act ugly. They still don't want to do right. You know, I keep telling people, be nice. Purposely be nice. Purposely. Even if you don't want to be, force yourself to be. Purposely be nice to people. Purposely. I went to a restaurant the other day. The service was horrible. I was purposely kind and gave her a tip. And the food was horrible and the service was horrible. But we have to understand, everybody's been through trauma the past couple of years. Some people went through trauma just because they couldn't get their hair cut. Let's just keep it real. So everybody's been through something. So purposely be nice. Why be nasty? Why? What does it serve? You know? Anyways, God's got this. For people who don't believe in God, they'll never get this. But for those who do, you all already know. This will not go to waste. God will use this. God will work all things out for his good, not ours, his. And I believe revival will come from this. I believe not just this, because people are still acting ugly and still wanting to think they're God. So I think personally something else is going to happen. That's just me. But I see something else coming because we got to get it together. And before the world can get it together, the Church of Jesus Christ needs to get it together. And if we can't get it together, God's going to step in and help us, because we can't sit up in the church and be fake and phony and cry out to him and think he doesn't hear us. And lots of churches had 24-hour prayer going on through Holy Week. God heard all that. And trust you me, he's going to answer in his way and in his time, but he's going to answer those prayers. But anyways, minutes. I don't want to make real long videos because I think they get boring, but I just wanted to touch on a few positives that came from the pandemic. So keep your head up. Know that God's in control. If there's anything you don't understand about God that I can help you with, that, there's a lot I don't understand either, but if there's ever anything that you don't understand that I can help you with, I'd be more than happy to. With that said, I'm signing off.